Hi, Mike Sarah here from Customer States. If you're searching for the highest quality additives, lubricants, or cleaners for your automotive, heavy equipment, agricultural, or industrial machinery needs, look no further than the Justice Brothers line of products. From lubing your chainsaw, performing a complete fuel system treatment and decarb service on a customer's vehicle, keeping that forklift forking and lifting, or just need a can of that famous JB80 penetrant to persuade a rusty bolt, Justice Brothers has you covered. Travis Ferris of Hit Distributing is not only Southern California's authorized Justice Brothers distributor, but also a great friend of mine. Over the years, Travis has helped me and my dealership with anything and everything we need, including all the lines of Justice Brothers products and even equipment to perform the various services we may need for our specific application. HIT stands for honesty, integrity, and trust, so you know when you contact Travis, that's exactly what you'll get. That, combined with Justice Brothers supplying superior quality automotive products since the 1940s and 75 years in the racing industry, you will have absolutely everything at your disposal to get the job done. Justice Brothers is proudly made in the USA, and they have a satisfaction guarantee or your money back. Justice Brothers has the best quality products over any other competitor, and they'll gladly tell you that themselves. If you live in the Southern California area, call my man Travis Ferris at 805-208-7818. And if you don't, call him anyway and tell him I said thanks. And visit justicebrothers.com to learn more about their complete line of products. Justice Brothers, America's brand for quality.
What's up, everybody? This is Allie from Customer States, where we talk about everything in the automotive industry. It's Friday, so you know what that means.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I have been doing warranty in the automotive industry for the past 11 years, and to my left is Jacob Rikus.
Damn it. I'm a couple boards back behind. Hold on.
I believe in you. Do, 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 do. There it is.
I'm not saying a damn thing until I heard it. Welcome to another episode of the podcast, guys. Thanks for joining in on another lovely Friday. I am Jake Rikus, as always. Been in the automotive field since I was young, but been doing the service advisor thing for about 3 years. To my left, sitting in for Kevin, who would usually be yelling at the sales department, is Mike Sarah.
Oh my God.
Putting on another hat.
Yes. Hi. This is
just another hat for you, Mike.
This is Mike Sarah. I'm a senior master technician, shop foreman, transmission technician, and in addition to the hat that I'm wearing as the button masher today, I am also apparently in charge of the interview process for prospective new hires.
Ooh.
So we can talk about that later if you want. But more importantly, to my left today, as you notice that Kevin is not here and we have somebody else to our left.
Interrupted the normal
technically it's straight
positioning.
Across, yeah.
Well, it's still to my left. So we've talked about our friend Sean before and how his struggle with cancer is super real. But he also has a huge connection to the automotive industry as well as to all of us here, including Kevin, who is not here. Mm-hmm. He's all of our collective friends because we've known him forever. Yeah. And in the studio today, in the flesh, is my good friend, our good friend, and hopefully your good friend too, Sean Lifter.
Hey guys, thank you for having me. Thank you.
How was that?
Shoon.
I like that. I like that intro. Thank you. Thank you. I've been in the automotive field for just about 19 years. I'm in the collision side of the business, so a little bit different from the service and warranty side. However, they do partner up quite frequently.
Oh yeah,
so,
you were the only.
We're here.
You were the only person I look forward to seeing when it came to collision. It's
thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
You'd walk in like, oh shit, Sean's here. About damn time. Now I got to deal with all the other people.
Hopefully, this one should be easy, right? So yeah, and then with. I work at I manage a shop that has 2 locations. So one of our locations is in the actual dealership. Another one is on a separate property about a mile away. So, I work really hand in hand and really close with both Mike and Allie and actually Jake.
Yep.
So, we do warranty work as well. So
yeah, we sublet our stuff out to you guys when we can't do it. Sean, help, please.
The paint master, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, before, another reason why I miss the shit out of you, dude, besides just missing you, when you were there and we sent shit over to you, it got done. I had sent something over to another shop.
Don't name it. Don't do it.
I won't name
Don't
drop.
name it.
Sean knows who it is.
Yeah.
I do happen to know who it is.
So I sent a bumper to them, and they're like, one day. I told them I need it 24 hours. They told me they were slow. Second day passes, not done. Third day passes, not done. Today's the fourth day, and I got it back today. And they also had a mirror cap that they were supposed to paint for me. So I call them like, where's my mirror cap? They're like, oh, it's here for you. Just come and pick it up, or we'll drop it off to you in a few hours. A few hours pass, I don't hear from them. So I drive over there. I'm like, fuck it. I'm just going to go see. Sure enough, the dude's sitting there, hitting it with paint right as I pull up.
Damn.
Oh, so you just know. You just know they gave you the customer you. They customered you, right?
They did, 100%.
And I never think they're really going to just show up,
Right.
you know?
And I called her on it too. I'm like, seriously, guys? I'm like, what's going on? Oh, we're short staffed, and so I kind of get it, but either way, moving on. Go for it, Mikey boy.
You mean shenanigans?
Okay. Game recognized game. We're gonna have a board off when Kevin is here.
Kevin's
Who
gonna
matches
win.
it better?
I might have programmed and found all of these things, but Kevin knows where they all are. So there's 4 different pages to navigate, and it takes a while, and I have a ton of other stuff to do.
I was re-listening today, and the sheer speed of last week's reactions from him.
Well, that's what happens.
Oh
when
my
you
God,
take
it was
away
impressive.
That's what happens when you take away the board from him for one time.
I didn't
And then
necessarily mean to take away the board. It's not just.
But you did.
Well, I didn't do a
I
full
think it was
castration.
partial-
you know
him.
what? You know what? No,
Well,
no,
maybe-
no,
maybe
no.
a little
no,
bit.
that was 90%
Get
Mike.
taken away a little bit.
Okay. I'll take the blame. It's fine.
So then when the listeners were like, we want Kevin, it's just raging boner, and he's like, I am going to do this perfect, and he did.
We are the wild and crazy guys.
Okay. So to get things started today, I actually have a story from this week that happened to me. Actually,
So work involved. This
involved.
is about work. Okay.
yeah. So like this is part of my shop foreman duties. Like
That's kind of what the podcast is about.
Yeah,
Yes.
sure. And not all the other 10,000 tangents we
all
talk about.
things in the automotive industry
And adjacent to it.
and automotive industry adjacent.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a customer that came into the service drive, and I get a call from the service advisor, and the service advisor says, "Hey, I have a customer up here with X and X vehicle, and they're talking about the alignments off, and ever since we did, the wheels and tires, and, brakes and stuff like that, and now it's all
Ever
off."
since, yeah.
You got it right there.
Yeah.
You got it. You got it. You got it. Hashtag sell the bell. Called up the service drive. Fine. Yes, I'll go for a road test with the customer. So it turns out that we didn't do the tires, the brakes on the vehicle. But this customer that I just happened to know from previous experiences says, "Oh yeah, so when you go accelerate the vehicle, the steering wheel just like rips out of your hands, and it always seems like it
God.
like, turns to the right." Yeah, it sounds like a serious issue, right? Okay, so I hop in the
Sorry.
driver's seat, put down the floor mat and everything like that, and hop in the driver's seat. And we go start heading out of the dealership, and I say, "So like, how does this happen? How can I most easily replicate this problem to show it to my technician?" And she tells me, "Well, if you're like at a stoplight and you just," yes, Kono, thank you.
Podcast Poochie.
It happened.
He's always there. He's always there. So when you're, accelerating like from a stoplight or whatever, and if you just have your hands off the steering wheel just like rips out of your, rips to the right and like tries to send you off into the car on the right hand side.
Sounds like fun.
I said, "What you mean, like with your hands off the steering wheel?" And she looks at me like, "Yeah, of course, with my hands off the steering wheel." Why?
Wait.
Why are you driving with your hands off the steering wheel?
So
Look, Mom.
This is why service departments exist.
So I kind of look over and I tell her, like, I mean, you're a little bit older than I am, so I'm assuming that you've been driving for longer than I have, but I still remember from basic training that 10 and 2 is
Did you
the
say
way
that?
to, well, not in those
Okay.
words.
Okay. Just checking.
Verbatim.
Yeah, but I said something to the effect of like, well, I mean, you're supposed to keep your hands on the wheel while you're driving at all times. I thought that this was like just common knowledge. You can't just like let go of the steering wheel. She's like,
Customer educated.
so, and she tries to tell me, she's like, well, you're holding on to the steering wheel. You just got to like, you just like hold it loosely. I'm like, What? Hold on loosely. This isn't a 38 Special song. Like,
But don't let go. Yeah. That's the next part of the song. Don't let go.
Don't let go of the steering wheel.
What is that?
Okay, so I'm trying to replicate the concern with her, and I'm holding on the steering wheel, so obviously the car's not doing anything. So she tries to tell me, okay, we'll pull over to the side of the road. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pull over, and she's like, okay, just like let go of the steering wheel and accelerate. I keep trying to tell her like I can't do that. It's not safe. So long story short, she's talking about
No
torque
balls.
steer. She's talking about torque steer. And so as I'm trying to, duplicate the concern to her, and I have my hands on the wheel, she keeps trying to pull my hands off the wheel. No, you're holding the steering wheel. You're holding the steering.
That's got to be so distracting and dangerous. Well,
While
you're driving
I'm
a vehicle.
driving someone else's car in the auto mall, which we all know is a really crazy place to drive.
Yes.
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 Mike, haven't you heard the song "Jesus Take the Wheel"?
It was written about the auto mall.
I don't think he was driving with me that day because he would have cut that road test short real fast. She was literally grabbing at my hands, trying to take him off the steering wheel while I'm driving her car.
I think she might have been hitting on you.
No, I certainly hope not. I certainly hope not.
Oh man!
But I took her back into the service drive, and I parked the car in the service drive, and I was telling her like, again, what you're talking about is torque steer. We have one short axle and one long axle in these transverse style engines. She had some like small SUV type thing, sport crossover type thing, whatever you call it. So it's a transverse engine. The engine and transmission are, horizontal or whatever in the axle path in the front of the vehicle. So you have a short axle on one side and a long axle on the other side.
Okay.
Right? Because it's front wheel drive.
Oh, okay.
So you have torsional differences in between those, and one wheel is going to grab differently than the other wheel. And yes, if you let go of the steering wheel and floor it, you're going to experience torque steer because one wheel is going to spin faster than the other, and the wheel that doesn't spin is going to grab you in that direction.
Like the Mazdas.
Yeah, or the wheel that does spin is going to grab you in that direction. So I mean, I'm trying to explain, and she tells me, "Well, I have two of these cars, and the other one doesn't do it." I said, "I have no idea what you're talking about because every single car does this." And I'm sitting in the service drive with a ton of other cars around me, a ton of cars in the lot. So I'm literally like, obviously with my head searching around and saying, well, that vehicle, that vehicle, that vehicle, that vehicle, that vehicle, and that vehicle all operate under the same principle and would do the exact same thing if you let go of the steering wheel and try and accelerate the vehicle. Like I'm sorry.
Wow.
And again, this is in the nicest way possible that I can describe this.
Yep.
So
I've never experienced that because I usually
Hold
the wheel. Actually, my car tells me if you're holding
ours.
it too loosely because it has
it yells at you.
what's that feature called?
Yeah, mine
so
does
you
as
don't
well.
go
It
into
keeps
another
you-
lane.
Like lane keep assist?
Yeah,
Yeah.
lane keep assist.
Yeah, I have that also. And
And
it
they'll say
rips
hold-
you back.
Oh, it does.
Too.
It's
Man, if you don't turn
really
your
jarring.
signal on, whoop.
Yep.
I can't tell you. I can't tell you how many people come in and say like, "Oh, the steering wheel vibrates, tries to
Vibrates.
shake out of
Oh
my
my
hand."
gosh.
It's because you're not using your turn signal and you're trying to turn the other lane. I'm sorry, I don't know what else to tell you. You got lane keep assist on, okay?
Well, we see
Yep.
that all the time. Like people have that setting turned off in their car.
Yeah.
And then, if they're in an accident or, something like that, and it goes to a dealership to get reset
Gets
and
reset
everything.
to a default.
Exactly. They get their car back, they get in it and drive it, not knowing.
That
I mean, that would scare the shit out
Yeah.
of you, if you didn't know and it rips you back like
Yep.
that. So, we get the phone call. Explain to me why my car is pulling this and that. You guys, of course, customer states, since you guys fixed my car,
Ever since
since I got it back, this is what's going on. And sure
Sell the
enough,
bell.
someone didn't read their owner's manual. That's basically what it comes down to.
yeah.
The forbidden text.
the forbidden
Yeah.
texts. Yeah. I mean, I had another customer that was like that. He had a GT350, and this guy owns a bunch of other vehicles, right? And and all these vehicles are race vehicles. As he describes to me, this is the least craziest vehicle that he owns, which is a brand new GT350, and I was kind of impressed, not gonna lie. And he tells me that when he's hitting this one specific freeway interchange, the steering wheel jerks out of his hand. And again, it's the same thing. Well, he's letting go of the steering wheel when he's making a left-hand turn
turning.
on the freeway and hits this one pothole area that we all know about. I'm not going to say the freeway, but we all know that one specific interchange with that giant pothole. Yeah, dude, you've got 305s on the front and they're super sticky. And if you let go of the steering wheel, it's going to jerk out of your hand. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you got to hold on to the wheel.
It's a race vehicle.
It's a race vehicle.
I mean, you really should be holding onto the wheel all the time.
I go to the quarter-mile track and just let go.
That's when he told me that this was the
Right.
mildest vehicle that he owned.
Mildest.
Yeah.
And that scares me.
It does. I was kind of impressed.
I'm not even mad. I'm impressed.
Well, and to jump back like what Sean was saying.
I'm going to come.
To jump back what Sean was saying, when you send a car off and they reset everything or it goes to the dealer and whatever wasn't turned on to begin with, or they never were in a situation where it was, we had something similar. We had a customer call. It's like, when I'm driving, my car violently shakes. And it wasn't the car, it was the effing steering wheel. And it's just, she did not use her blinker like 90% of California.
With the lane keep assist.
With the lane keep. So it's like, she didn't have it set where it was, she had the intervention part of it turned off, so it didn't yank her back into the lane. She only had the warning. She had the audible turned off, but the rumble on.
Right.
And in the Mazdas, at least with her,
like the old the PlayStation, like the rumble.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like vibrate your hands quite a bit.
Yeah.
And with hers, she had, it was either a CX-5 or a CX-9, but they shake way harder than the Mazda 3s and the Mazda 6s, where it's not going to really feel like your car's vibrating. But I mean, if you're holding onto it and she was on the frail side, it's going to kind of feel like your whole body's
petite.
Petite, sure. So we took that test drive where she's like, well, you guys drive. And we're like, nah, in this type of situation, we prefer if you did. You're going to, you know how your car works. If you're going to duplicate it, you're going to duplicate it. So sure enough, she opts in, doesn't signal once, and it happens 3 times. And she's like, see, there it is. See, there it is. I'm all like, it's your steering wheel. And she's like, what do you mean it's my steering wheel? I'm like, you have rumble on. She's like, what the hell is rumble? I'm like, let's get back to the dealership and I'll show you. Go deep into her settings and be like, you see how this is checked? You want that to stop? Uncheck it. She's like, oh my God. And exactly. Eyes light up. Her whole entire life has been changed. And if she would have read the forbidden texts, she would have known.
I had a small situation with me that I was complaining about to a salesperson with our car, that when I use the Apple CarPlay, you have to go through like a bunch of different settings.
I mean,
like a bunch of different toggles to get from the regular radio to the Apple CarPlay.
Right.
press
And
and hold the home
she
button.
pulled it on me. She's like, well, in your owner's manual, it says that you can press down the home button and it'll take you straight to Apple CarPlay. I was so stoked. I wasn't even pissed off
Yeah,
about
she's all
that. I
like,
was
you're
like,
right. I
oh my
had no
God.
idea, but this is sweet.
Makes my life so much easier.
What was, oh my God.
So I'm one of those people.
The before I get into my one fun story, another one that was really funny. It's short, but we had older lady that we know, sweet lady, just dumber than a bag of rocks, but she's really really nice. No, this is part of it. She's really sweet, but she knows nothing about cars. But she's
Okay, but that doesn't mean she's
no.
dumb.
Hold on.
Okay.
So she's like, I know nothing about cars. I'm worthless when it comes to this, and she goes, but every time she's like, but my boyfriend's the car guy and he knows everything. So if I have questions, he's going to answer it for me. So she comes in and I didn't even notice she had an appointment. And she comes in and I'm all like, all right, so it says your airbag light's flashing, this, that, and the other thing. But this is focused on the airbag light. And I wasn't really having a great day and I wasn't really putting up with her. So she goes,
Oh, boy.
my airbag light's flashing, and it just all of a sudden it just yelled at me, went ding, and a light flashed. I'm like, what did the symbol look like? She's like, an exclamation point. I'm like, was it in parentheses? She's like, yeah, that's your fucking tire pressure monitor. She's like, oh. I'm like, well, you said your boyfriend's a car guy. I'm really surprised he didn't know what that was.
Oh boy.
And she looked at me like, how dare you? I don't know what overcame me at that point, but I'm like, I just wasn't having it. And she's like, are you sure that's what it is? I'm like, yes, that's all that it is. Reset her tire pressure. She went on her way. But now onto the
about 350.
So now to go on to the fun one. So my dispatcher, who does test drives for us every once in a while, or we send him to go pick up cars from the body shop, the upholstery shop, whatever we need him to. He goes, usually where he was going that day, it's a 20-minute drive, give or take. He was gone a long time, 45 minutes, hour. Everybody's trying to call him, doesn't pick up his phone. We're starting to kind of get freaked out. He's a good driver, but still. And he's always like, this is where I am, this is how long I'll be. He's just really good with that. So
He is. You can always count on him.
yep. So, hi, Kurt.
Hi, Curdy.
Curdy Bam Bams. So he finally gets back and he comes into the service drive and he tells us about his, what would you call that, encounter with this gentleman?
Sure. Yeah.
So-
I think that applies.
So Kurt is extremely good
Experience.
at situational awareness. He used to do dial-a-ride, so he's always looking at his surroundings. He's a good driver. So he's at the Arco that you know where it is down that boulevard.
Gas station.
Yes, I'm aware.
So he's pulling out of it, and he's looking left, and he's looking right, and he notices on his right side there is a guy in one of those really high-tech, expensive wheelchairs where you're
Like
know,
a power chair.
like a power chair,
yeah,
like almost quadriplegic. He's not, but it's like when you have
It's like a little rascal.
kind of sort of, but it's
Sounds like it's a little more serious.
yeah.
like Darla and Alfalfa.
So he's, it's the one deformed arm where it's just a little toggle, but it's, dead from basically the chest down. So he notices him there and he starts to turn and he sees that when he's turning, the guy's starting to go and he's going to cross the street at wherever he was at that particular spot. And as he's about to complete his turn, he looks through his rearview mirror and he notices he hops off the curb and he goes sideways. So he's on his side and Kurt realizes this. So of course he flips around super fast, pulls to the other side of the road, pulls up to the guy and it's like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, man, I'm fine, I'm fine." And he's like, "I'm going to call the paramedics." And the guy's like, "Do not do that." And he's like, "What?" And Kurt's like, "Are you sure?" It's like, "We can get you help." It's like, "Anything hurt? Are you good?" And he's
Yeah,
like,
because he's fallen.
You
"Exactly."
think the guy was like just embarrassed though, maybe?
So,
Maybe.
You know,
Huh.
he was just like, I don't want to call a paramedic on this.
right, you would
possible.
you would think that, but how Kurt explained it, he was like, "Don't you fucking call the paramedics." So he's like, "Okay."
That's
Yeah, exactly. So this will get fun. So he starts to dial anyways, and the guy's like, "Stop, please." And he's like, "Okay." That's what she said. At that point, a couple of other people had stopped, pulled over, and gotten out to help the guy. So Kurt and this other big guy get him lifted up. The big guy holds the other dude just to keep him propped up. A couple other people lift up the power chair, put it back on the curb. And when this guy hit the ground or tipped on the side, his sunglasses fall out, his phone popped out of his pocket, his hat falls off. So they put him in the chair, they set him back down, and then Kurt and a lady walk over to go pick up his belongings. The lady picks up the phone and the sunglasses. Kurt gets the hat. Kurt picks up the hat, and what falls out of the hat is a big old baggie of cocaine.
Mother of God.
So just a big old bag of cocaine drops right on the floor.
Oh, nice little bam bam right there.
Exactly.
Do not.
So
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go.
okay.
So
That's enough of that.
So at that point, Kurt goes, so that's why he didn't want the paramedic. So
Yeah.
So Kurt goes, I stuff it back into the elastic band up at the top of the, at the top of his hat,
Okay.
walks it over to him and puts the hat on the top of his head. And the guy looks up at him and goes, "Is everything there?"
That's pretty G, you gotta say.
So it puts
You
the
know what? He's this guy.
at that point, man, in the situation that he's in, what's he got to lose at that
I
point?
mean-
And Kurt,
You're preaching to the choir, bro.
right. So Kurt knows this guy personally. He used to pick him up when he did Dial-A-Ride, and he's known for belligerent outrages, either being
So Dial-A-Ride, for people who don't know, is like people who have a hard time getting around, like with
it's public
different.
transit.
It's a
But-
lot of
but
senior
it's-
citizen.
yeah,
I think
it's
you
a
have to
lot
like
of
apply
senior-
and be able to get it. I don't think anyone just
Not just
dials it.
anyone.
You can't.
Yeah.
I think I think that's
I tried that once when I was young. They're like, "No, we won't pick you up." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
No, man, you can walk from the mall.
Yeah, exactly. So he knows this guy, and he's known for his belligerent outrages of, drunken stupors, apparently coked out now. And Kurt goes, "This makes so much sense." So after he puts the hat on the head, the guy goes, "Is it all there?" type of thing. He goes, "All right, I'm good." And he starts to go over the curb again. And there's no dip. There's no cross.
What?
There's no,
Come on.
There's no crosswalk here. So Kurt and the big guy are like,
How
"Whoa."
full was the bag?
I didn't ask that question. So
How much was gone?
Right.
Yeah.
So he starts to go off the curb again. They're like, "Stop." So they lift him in the chair and put him on the ground. And they said, the crosswalk's about 2 minutes. Right on the side of the road in the bike lane, get to the crosswalk and go. Kurt hops in, flips around, looks in his side view mirror, and in a coked out, handicapped rage, does wheelchair Frogger across the street, which is a really busy street. Just he's like, "Fucking, I'm doing this."
Oh my God, from that movie, I got 5 pounds of Colombian Bam Bam.
Talladega Night.
Yeah.
I suggest you run, son.
So that was that bit of fun for Kurt. But
That's pretty good.
So usually on the way home is Jake and I's venting time because we live, a city over from the dealership. So
Exactly
that's
one city over. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. It's roughly a city and a half. Or
is
one,
the
one and
Barry-
3/4
Maybe
city.
we could give it like a mileage to give
15.
it a perspective. for
We're in
someone, like
California. We
12
don't talk
12
about
15
miles. We talk
miles
about
away,
minutes.
maybe.
Schmersberry.
Right? Like we were talking before.
NB.
We also say the 101
Yeah,
or the
exactly.
405.
yeah,
or
it's like,
the,
why do you guys
you know.
name your freeways? Because they suck.
Yeah. Because I want to know who to blame when I'm late for work.
Exactly. What took you so long?
The
Oh,
damn
405.
101. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
405.
Yes. So he was telling, I got a sneak peek of that story. And
So
I
did
was
Mike,
like,
technically.
stop the presses, call Mike, tell him to fire up the microphone. We need to tell this when it's fresh right now. I was laughing my ass off. It was, I lost it at the
Handicapped
Frogger.
Yeah, that's pretty friggin' wild.
I was like, I don't know if you can say that on the
What,
podcast.
what would you do to get
no.
away from that, though?
You definitely should be able to bring that to the podcast.
Yeah, well, no. I was going to say just handicapped Frogger. Just either way. But yeah, it's like I said, it's in that mindset. I don't really have much to lose, so if I'm hit by a bus, I'm hit by a bus. At least I'm high on cocaine.
Could be worse things. Could be
worse things.
Yeah, so it was a good thing. I guess I don't know what would have happened if they called the people in the medical field,
Well,
for
that's
that
why.
one.
Okay, so for the paramedics, not so much. That wouldn't have been bad. But Kurt wanted to call paramedics and police, or if paramedics show up and they worded a certain way, police are going to show up.
Right.
Yeah,
And if
it's a-
police
it's a
show
whole
up,
chain
then
of
it's
events
like,
that
well, now you're going to jail.
Well, do you remember that during the height of the pandemic, we did a program at Mazda that helped get free, as a thank you, free oil changes for
yes.
people in the
Healthcare
healthcare
industry.
field.
Right.
And I thought that was really cool that Mazda reached out that way. It was kind of a surprise as far as the administration went. It was like, surprise. Okay, they have to show all these different kinds
Right.
of documentations, but it was a really cool program.
It's for free, but you got to work for it. So,
And there's limitations. You can't come in with your Ferrari. I mean, we're only getting
Right.
paid $60 in oil
but see,
change,
that's the thing. You could bring in any car you wanted as long as it was below a certain amount of oil that it took. It wasn't a big truck. It wasn't a specialty vehicle, a few things like that.
Right.
So it started with the healthcare professionals, and it was, we're going to do one round of this. They did 3 rounds
It was
of it.
really successful
It
because it
was.
was a great tool because
It
it
got it.
showed that Mazda cared. It's kind of
Right.
like your helpful Honda person or whatever. That was a great campaign, ad campaign.
Now, with that one, people really... We've got a new program. It's another ECC or the
Essential Car Care
Right.
is what it stands for.
So the new one is for teachers, educators. If you work at a school, custodian, does not matter, you can get a free service.
Yeah, to
We
say
just
thank
call
you.
that all frontline workers, right? I think they consider educators frontline workers.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that all falls under that
Right.
category.
Well, and I mean, they had a really
sure, right?
hard
Yeah,
time
I think
last
so.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I
And
mean,
that's
it's
it.
so important.
They were out of work. They're back now. So,
Well,
Yeah,
they were
educators had it rough last
Yeah.
year
yeah,
for sure.
Jesus.
well, now see, the thing is with the doctor or healthcare professionals, that was pretty cut and dry. The teacher portion, what's kind of funny with that, it's still awesome that Mazda is doing that, but people are going online and choosing the, teaching free service. And people are coming in and we're like, oh, okay, so you're a teacher. They're like, no. We're all like, then why'd you choose this? And they're like, well, I homeschool my kids.
Oh, there's a lot of fine print.
Everybody wants to try and circumvent the system. And I love circumventing the system. I live on that line, but my word.
And you can't fault them for trying. But even today, we had a guy come in and it's like, so you're a teacher? He's like, no, I teach my kids though. We're like, yeah, sorry, dude, we can't. Unless you got a badge, we can't. He's like, but I homeschool. I'm like, I get it, dude, but there's guidelines. I'm like, I'll give you $20 off your oil change. He's like, okay, sweet, thank you. So there you go.
Well, see, and it is a cool program because I think it's cool that they're saying thank you. And then I also think it's cool to get new people in.
Yeah,
and
getting
you're
new
supposed
people
to
in.
give them a Right.
Right. Well, you
And a car wash.
Wow.
You can.
But it's optional.
This time around is not required. Or the healthcare professional one, we were really supposed to be all like, hey, we've
You
got
are
you a loaner.
supposed to do it on this one.
Red carpet all the way kind of thing.
Yeah,
is
exactly.
basically-
No,
which-
It's like brand awareness,
Right.
you
Gotcha.
know? Thank you. And also, hey, drive a Mazda. See what it's like over here.
Well, yeah, anytime anyone is in your service drive is an opportunity for them to be looking at a new car. I mean, when my cars, just last week, I mean, I took my wife's car in, and when they were doing the oil change or, the quick service or whatever, I went out front. I looked at new cars. I mean, it's
Something,
You
even
know?
if it's something to kill time.
exactly
Yeah.
right. I mean, hey, who doesn't like new things, especially a new car? You
Yep.
know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
any promotion to get something in is great. And
Yep.
if it can be for a good cause on top of it, I feel like that's just like a win.
Oh my God, Mazda's so great. Maybe I should own one.
Exactly.
Yep.
Subaru made a big push recently too. Every commercial they have, you know,
Yep.
has a dog. And how they're
Family
giving back.
dog.
I mean,
Exactly.
man.
Yep.
Hey, that's good marketing.
Well,
I love
and
it, especially for what their car is. People who have Subarus love their Subarus,
Yep.
man. I gotta tell you,
Even
I
though
know
their
all
engine,
makes and models.
even though their engines explode.
honestly, if you're listening out there and you know someone who's a teacher, they can get a free oil change from Mazda
As
up
long
until August 30th.
as long as the dealership is participating.
Yeah, at participating dealers only.
And that's current news.
and that doesn't mean that you
Bum bum.
you're a karate teacher or you know what I mean? Hey,
Right.
I teach yoga in the park.
You have to show proof, like a
Exactly.
badge or a pay stub that you work for.
Oh,
What's that mean?
Mike needs walkies.
So yes, again, when you hear the key jingle, that is time for us to go to ad break.
Thank you for explaining
Executive announcements.
Walkies, potties.
Yeah.
Need a treat.
Again, we want to thank all of our sponsors. Thank you guys so much. We're having a blast doing this, and we hope to continue to improve and upgrade as we gain all your support. So we're going to go to break, and we'll see you when we get back. Thank you for listening.
Bye. Mike, what are you eating? That looks amazing.
Oh, this? It's just a delicious Elsinore burrito from El Ranchito Taco Shop.
Is that nacho cheese sauce and hot Cheetos?
Nacho cheese, hot Cheetos, and their mouth-watering carne asada. And I'm dipping it in their creamy guac.
that. Creamy guac. Yum.
Giggity.
I guess this is a great time to remind everyone that if they're ever in the Inland Empire area, visit Ray at El Ranchito Taco Shop.
Yeah, totally. Check them out on Facebook.com/Ranchito Elsinore.
Or on their Instagram at Ranchito Elsinore.
Now I want me some Elsinore burrito and some of that creamy guac.
Giggity.
I can always give you some of my creamy guac, Jake. Just ask.
El Ranchito Taco Shop, Lake Elsinore.
More than just great Mexican food. And we're back from break. Speaking of breaks, it is the summer, and you know what is the best during summer?
Not working?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I should be like
yes.
shaking the ice in the
Yes.
cocktail.
That's
instead-
some like
instead of the-
ASMR.
right?
Sean living the real life.
Exactly.
Every day.
Right. So, and coming back from the summer and the break and all of that
That's what she said.
do not come.
Damn it.
is going on vacation.
More specifically.
More specifically, this is a very loaded subject for me personally.
So yeah, again, when you say going on vacation, what do you mean? Like you personally being able to go on vacation, or like other people going on vacation, or customers going on vacation, or
I guess me personally taking my vacation time, my personal PTO that I'm allowed.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
And sometimes it's shit because I'm the only person at work that does my job.
La-di-da.
So when I come back, let's say, a day or two here or there is totally
Doable.
doable.
Manageable.
Manageable even.
Plausible.
Right.
Exactly. Any other adjectives here? So
Inconceivable.
not relatable.
Well, fair enough.
I'm the only person that does my job. So if I go, let's say, actually, Jake and I, for example,
Hi.
went to Aruba
That was so
a few
nice.
years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Indeed. The Kool-Aid Man was there. It was great.
Technically, it was the Aloe Man.
Oh, yeah. Anyways, I digress.
Some sunburns might have occurred.
There was such an amazing person who like walked around and like was selling aloe out of used beer bottles. It was
He also-
recycled beer bottles.
He also offered you weed and cocaine on top of that, like quite often.
Low
He
key.
didn't sound like someone who had a Pinterest set up.
So when I came back from 2 weeks of vacation, so 10 work days.
That's when I actually proposed to you.
Yep. Well, yeah.
Right
so there
before.
were 2 weeks worth of my work waiting for me when I came back. So I spent 2 weeks in paradise and then back to reality with literally,
I think it would have been better with the womp womp, but hey, I'll give it to you.
I'm going to say,
I
He's no
really miss
Kevin.
Kevin. I really miss
Kevin.
Kevin.
Mike's no Kevin.
This is a lot of
I
pressure.
had about 3 feet of paperwork waiting for me when I came back.
That's a lot.
And that is stressful. And it makes me think, is it worth going on vacation?
To answer that,
Maybe
yes.
I shouldn't even take my vacation.
Wrong.
You definitely
Wrong.
need to take vacation. You need to take personal time. I gotta be honest. I would
Yeah.
say, you know, for someone even in my position, like with, you know, being sick and having cancer, I strongly think, you know, and no fault of anyone but my own, of not taking that mental time for myself and not taking vacation and overworking and just not having things prioritized. I truly think that has like a really negative effect on you if you don't take that vacation. As much as it's like, man, I don't want to have to come back to a shit show, you know, and then when you're not there, I always tell people this, you can go on vacation, but when you're not here, everyone sees all your work.
Yep.
You know, everyone has to deal with all your clients,
Yep.
all your customers. So, you know, that's like, you know, it's different, but you know,
You have PTO for a reason.
yep.
Well,
absolutely.
There's a reason, it's a law that you have to have a certain amount of it.
Right, well,
Sick days, etc.
on that, like how Sean's saying, I forget where I saw it, but it really kind of hit me in that way where he's saying, don't wait. It was a picture of like 2 older people who were somewhere. I'm pretty sure it was Italy, but they were passed out wherever they were in this gorgeous place. And it was, don't wait until you retire to travel and take vacations
yeah.
when you should.
Yeah.
So it's simply like that. It's like you work basically to the point of killing yourself to get to that point. But once you get to that point, it's too late.
Yeah. We're here
Yeah.
for a good time, not
Yeah.
a long time, right? I mean, you got to take it when you have it, but it's hard. Like I was talking to
That's what she
damn
said.
it.
I'm like, so, oh wait, hold on.
That's what she said.
Thank you.
I was
I'm
talking
here for you, Mike.
to Mike the other day about like, damn, I need a vacation. And what were you telling me about that?
I haven't had more than a couple days off in a long time. Like I like really need some time away from work just to separate myself from my work self.
That's
nothing else.
That's why I think you're kind of so anal retentive.
I'm very anal retentive.
Well, and we've talked about
Thank you for trying to put that lightly, Jake, but I'm very anal retentive.
It's because I love you.
and we've talked about mental health on this podcast before.
Hashtag sell the bell.
I think you're right, Sean. Like mental health can tie into your physical health.
It for sure.
Oh,
absolutely
it does.
For sure ties
Absolutely
into
does.
physical health. Yeah, and honestly, that's like kind of one of the hardest. I mean, if I'm being open and honest here, that's one of the hardest things for me to do is to separate my work life and me as like another person other than the dealership.
Right.
It's super hard for me to not take my work home with me. And as much as I can tell somebody, oh, you know, you just have to do this and this and stretch and you know, meditate and
Yeah.
do yoga. I mean, it's one thing to know how to do it. It's another thing to actually do it. And we just can't like really focus on that enough, honestly. You know, Sean, just as you said, I mean, it really does have an effect on you. for sure physically, if not emotionally, and emotionally makes you, react physically.
Like we are not our jobs. Like we're our own people, and at the end of the day, you got to take care of yourself. Actually, now I'm like, okay, I gotta schedule my vacation now.
Well, don't you think it's weird that whenever you meet someone new, like a new introduction, like the classic icebreaker is, what do you do?
Yep.
Yeah.
And like I find that, I had a conversation
that's
with someone
so
the other day. It's so
interesting.
weird that it's like that's how you're classified as your job, and it's like, hit someone next time with like, yeah, I like to hike, or I like to read books, or, whatever.
What do
It's
you
interesting.
Yeah, like what do you like to do in your free time or whatever? Like what do you do for fun? I don't know. That's a really interesting way of structuring that, and it's all centered around work. You need money. You have to work to make money. Money's what makes the world go round.
Unfortunately.
It's really hard because, for example, if I have a day off that I have to go do an important thing later in the day, but I took the entire day off, I find myself still going into work early, opening up the dealership, turning everything on.
I loved your Caterpillar encounter today. You make a great salesman, dude.
We're posting that.
I'm gonna post it. That's gonna be a teaser for the next episode.
Nice.
I bookmarked that one for a later date. So just be prepared to see a caterpillar and a car salesman.
Yeah.
You'll figure it out.
You'll figure it out.
And Ali, like with how you're saying, or even Mike, you got to separate yourself. Before I met Ali, I was like you, Mike, but worse in the sense of like, you take pride in what you do, so the whole separation from work and life thing is a little bit different.
You mean impossible?
Yeah, but with me, it was to the point of being unhealthy, to the sense of I was pissed off all the time. I carried emotions in a weird way when it came to that, where it's all like, why do I work this hard? Or because of how much pride I take in what I do, I don't know how to allow myself to relax. So she helped me a lot with that. It's like, you got to step back. You got to take a deep breath. You have to allow yourself. And now you are doing the same bullshit I did.
And it's the same thing. Like
It always comes full circle.
Yeah, it does. And as you work at a place for longer, you take on more things, you wear more hats,
Oh yeah.
and you feel more responsibility.
Sell the bell.
That's the easiest soundbite to grab. I'm
Yeah.
super sorry, guys. I am totally messing this up. Kevin, please come back.
We miss you, Kevin. No, you're doing great. You're doing great, sweetie.
I'll never take the soundboard away again. This is super confusing.
He admits it.
But I'm lucky when it comes to vacation because I actually get paid hourly, so I'm not salary or commission in any way.
So you get nothing.
But I get something because I get my vacation time.
What's vacation time?
Well, you get you have
no.
it. I know you
How
have.
much?
It's my hourly
No.
wage.
How many hours or days or whatever? How is it broken down into?
Eight hours per day.
How much vacation time do you get a year?
10 days.
10 days vacation, 5 sick days.
Nope, 3 sick days.
13 days
It was
total for the
5.
whole year. But they knocked us down.
They only legally have to give you 3.
Correct.
Yeah, so they
In
knocked it down from
in our
5 to
lovely
3.
state.
Yep.
So they knocked. So,
So
like,
we took extra time last year because I could wrap over my sick time into my vacation.
Do they?
time.
So how does your company or your dealer do your vacation as far as like, can you cash it out at the end of the
No.
year?
No.
Or can you roll it into
No.
next year? Or
You
is it
get a
a
short
kinda.
amount
How does that
of
work?
grace period. You get like 3 months of grace period that you can use it still before
Rolling it, like-
otherwise it just goes away.
so if you, like, your date.
What?
So hold on. So you get 13 days at the start. Let's say your start is May 5th where we work.
Yeah.
Where everything
Sick
resets.
and vacation.
Sick and vacation. You go a full year, and let's say you only use 8 out of the 13. May 5th rolls around. They will either let you transfer like 2 to 3 days over and keep them to add on top of, or they give you a 3-month grace period and say you need to use these or they're gone.
You can't cash out?
Nope.
Nope.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't know if like they have
Where's
to
the
give you
soundbite for that
option there.
one?
I've always worked at companies where it's been an option.
Yeah.
Well, I guarantee it's legal because they
They're
do.
They're legal to
Oh, I'm sure.
airtight.
Yeah.
I'm sure. It sounds like it.
Yeah.
So how did it
well,
work for you, Sean?
You should probably just put a gunshot sound on that for when.
The best I got is this.
Yeah, a womp womp.
Most places I've been in, it's been pretty much you could either roll it over. I was really lucky where I work now is we kind of don't have a set vacation only time. I mean, you can really just, as long as your work's handled and, we really pull together as a team. So as long as things are handled, we don't mind.
Yeah.
So you can take whatever time you need to. But, I guess that we really don't have a cash out option because we don't do it that way. We don't have a set time.
Right. Now, it's like with Allie, she's hourly. So if she takes vacation time, she gets paid for a full day hourly. Me,
And
however,
when I come back, I have to work overtime to get my stuff done.
right. So
So I get paid for that time and a half too as well.
now for my lovely explanation of my pay plan.
I was curious about that when we talked about it during break.
My butt is sore just thinking about it.
Yeah, you got lubed up pretty
Yeah.
good.
So the way that it works is I am no amount of sugar can help me. So I have a base salary, and then I also make a commission, and I can also hit certain bonuses. 80% of those bonuses are unreachable for a reason. I wish I could say it otherwise.
So you get nothing.
So the bonuses are almost unreachable. It is really, really, really hard. I've hit it once, and I've been there over
That's
3
what she
years.
said.
Yeah, exactly. My commission of total sales is 1%, and my base salary is, I think it's like $2,400 or something like that. But either way, so I don't get overtime. I don't get any of that. Keep this in mind. So if I go on vacation instead of basing it off of where a lot of other places do, if you go, whatever your general sale is based on an average for months, they will split that accordingly to however many days you're off.
That's kind of similar to how we do it.
Right. With me, that is not the case. So I get my base like normal. So that's always there. It's my salary. No matter how much I work or don't work, I'm guaranteed that. But for those 10 days I'm off, I get minimum wage for 8 hours all 10 of those days on top of my $2,400 salary. And that's it.
That's pretty bad.
It's bad, man. It's horrible. And we'll leave it at that.
Well, we can only complain so much because at the end of the day, we
There's always
choose to
somebody getting
stay
paid
at our
worse than
place.
mine, I guess.
So
Well,
we're in control.
I
Right.
survive because I know there's somebody out there making less than me, and I'm using this for experience, and I don't plan on being there for the rest of my life.
But that's just how it
That's what I
happens.
said 11 years ago.
No kidding. That's the classic automotive. If you're in the auto industry,
That's the
you have
mindset.
said that at some point.
I'm not going
right?
to be here. Hey, guess what, guys? I've been working here for 11 years. I started as part-time,
Well, and
but I have learned a lot.
well,
I mean,
and that's the thing, and I've learned a lot too. But I started off as a lot porter, and I worked my ass off because I'm like, I can totally prove I can do more. And then I got that position, and I'm like, oh, I can kick ass at this. And now I'm in a horrible perpetual loop.
I really want to hear what people who are listening, how they feel about the vacations and stuff like that. Do you take your vacations? Is it easy? Is it hard?
CustomerStatesPodcast@gmail.com.
That's one way to reach us.
What's another way, Mike?
Facebook.com/Customer States Podcast.
My cell phone number is 805-910 beep 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 beep.
Wow.
There's a lot of effing number combinations with the last four.
But I'm surprised you went that far.
It's only
Anyways.
like 4 to the 10th power or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, 4 to the power. Yeah, 4 to the 4th.
I don't know. I don't have my calculator. I can't figure it out.
Again, why we're all in the automotive industry.
TI-86,
So
Wait.
Oh, what is that? What is that noise? Is that a rustling of paper? Does that mean that we have something else to read?
We do.
Okay. So we actually had another listener submission, and it's not quite a listener mail. This is more just a
Sharesy.
a listener sharesy. This one happens to come from a man named Norman who lives in the Great White North.
Hi, Norman.
Hi,
Hello,
Norm.
Norman. Thank you so much for writing or sending us this picture, screenshot of a repair order. So does somebody want to describe the repair order?
I
that
do,
understands
but
how it works?
I want to say something first
Oh,
about
by all
this.
means.
Don't you dare steal my thunder.
Oh, were you gonna
Whoa,
go
guys.
ahead? There, you go ahead. I've talked enough.
Don't you dare.
Domestic dispute.
To be honest, if she wanted me to lose, I'd lose. She's being nice.
I have a lot of dirt on you.
Oh my god.
Jeez, there's no soundbite for that.
Yeah.
No, there's not.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Maybe Sex Panther? I don't know.
So what Allie was gonna say is, Norman, you use PBS, and so
We
do
see you, Norman.
We see you,
I
Norman,
recognize
and,
the structure of this RO.
we use PBS as well, and yeah, you're the customer service through you guys is great because you're Canadian and you're
Hey.
always saying sorry, and it's not your fault.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
Sorry.
wait. Before we go on, can I just talk about when you call PBS for help?
Oh, it's lovely.
The woman
You
who
want some Tim Hortons?
Oh, I wish I had Tim Hortons. When I was anyways. I
Do you
really
know how
like
big
Tim
a moose is
Hortons.
there, bud?
When you call into this helpline, if you need help, this is what the lady sounds like. Hi, thank you for calling PBS Systems. She's like so happy, and like the music is like super like
I'm gonna
come. Do not come.
Do not come.
Is super chill, and she's just too fucking happy, and you're calling because you're fucking pissed off
livid,
that some shit's not going the way it's supposed to go. Your claims aren't getting through. It's the end of the month. It's bullshit. And she's there. Hi. Thanks for calling.
Why do you
She's
think
setting
they
the
have her
tone.
in that
Yeah.
position?
Sales 101,
She's-
man.
Genius.
She's setting the tone already.
Sean beat me,
right?
Sean beat me to it, man.
That's
It's
just-
like
that's
you're
just
pissed off. She's
psychology.
like, "Thank you so much for calling PBS," and you're all like, "Oh, I can't be mad."
And
now."
She's from
Every-
Georgia.
Haven't you noticed every time you have like a customer complain, it's the same thing when you go out there? You're like, I don't want to deal with this. I don't want this. Hi, how are you?
Yeah, exactly.
Tina, so nice to see you today. How can I help?
And speaking about
We all have our voice.
speaking about
Right,
customer
the
voice.
bomb
Yeah,
voice,
exactly.
Right?
Speaking about sitting on hold, and Sean will know this. It's like, you want to play a classic round, or you want to play a round of classic car trivia. You know exactly who I'm talking about. Their
Yeah.
hold music is the same every time. If I'm asked one more time about the Dodge Viper and when it was produced and what year, I'm gonna lose it. So, anyways, on to the read. 2013 Ford F-150. It is engine size doesn't matter. So check engine light, amber, mill lights on. So we'll start with the cause. So, or actually, no, this is the technician's notes up top.
So you should read from the bottom.
Oh, it's
first.
the bottom up. Okay, so
Yeah.
so EEC test code P0207, P0307.
So those are both. So the P0207 is a code for an electrical fault on injector number 7.
Correct.
And the P0307 is a fault for misfire on cylinder number 7. So immediately you know where you're looking.
Yep.
Cylinder number 7.
Yep. So perform engine performance diag. Find open circuit on cylinder 7 injector. No pigtail available. Find alternate connector in salvage bin. Modify to suit needs. Install. Clear codes and test. Good. Inspect for other damage. None noted. I have to get ready for this because it's
I have a question.
yeah.
I'm sorry. What is the pigtail? Is that just like electrical?
It's part of the wiring harness. So,
the-
it's
Well, so you
pigtail-
can- well, go ahead, Mike.
The pigtail.
Mr. Many Hats.
Mr. Master, Senior Master Ford Technician.
Well, I know because I deal with them. So the pigtail is what I would call a electrical connector with a length of wire at the end of it.
Okay.
And so that literal pigtail is something that I can solder or crimp into an existing wiring harness.
Okay.
In that. instance.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
A lot of times you'll use like you'll replace a pigtail instead of replacing like a whole engine harness or something like that. Like let's say you had like a rat damage on a car or something like that.
Instead of spending
Rather than
$3,000.
that, you'll go, hey, is there a pigtail available? So it's more like a term used to like describe like making like a small connector.
Okay.
Yep.
That makes sense.
So this is the technician's notes.
Come on, Jake.
Due to the pandemic and the closure of Disneyland, Mickey Mouse found alternate employment as a saboteur. He snuck in between the hours of 23:30 on 05/07/21 and 0600 on 06/07/21, chewing through CE 211 GYBN at C 187. Fun fact, 187 is California Penal Code for murder, making an open circuit and canceling injector function on cylinder 7. From the warranty wizard herself.
Wonderful.
So,
Wow.
Number A, you can't ever write that in a story.
No.
and for letter 2,
Oh, I see what you did there. A. You didn't even realize you had done
He
that.
said it first because the way their ROs are set up as letters.
Oh,
Line numbers are
right.
letters, so they say line number A, which
A,
that
A,
would,
A,
or
A,
B,
A.
which it's not a number.
talking
It
about?
looks so funny.
Hey Norman, how about them Maple Leafs, bud?
oh man, we're gonna get canceled in Canada.
No, we're not.
Yeah, Norman is not going to listen to
I
us
love
anymore.
Ken. You know what? Actually, before we continue, and I'm allowed to do this, Chance, I'm calling you out right now. You tease me snacks one more time.
Oh, I saw that.
You son of a bitch!
We need our ketchup chips.
I will fly up there and personally have Trudeau extradite you.
All dressed chips, can't get those out here.
Yes, you can.
You can now. Lay's does
You've
make
never had
all
them? I
dress.
will bring you a
I've
bag.
had all dressed chips. I just haven't had them out here.
I'll bring them to you.
What in the world are you talking about?
They're
So
like
all-
a vinegary, barbecue-y.
It's Canada's version of kind of like a barbecue meat salt and vinegar, kind of ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty fair.
They're really good. They're called all dressed.
I imagine.
They're supposed to taste
Sounds
like
good.
bacon and maple and all of this stuff.
It's really good.
It's really good. And you can't get ketchup chips out here, and ketchup chips are delicious. And Chance is dangling them in front of my face, and it's pissing me off.
Yeah, ketchup chips. That's another one. I've never.
I like to put actual ketchup on my chips,
not
like
bar-
French fries.
No.
It's not.
It's so good.
same.
Have you tried it?
I have not tried
Then
it.
don't talk to me about
know,
it.
I know.
Chance,
Fair enough.
message me. I'll send you an address to send some chips.
So you want to see?
We need to take a poll. We need a poll.
You want to see her cringe? Ketchup on blue box mac and cheese.
That is disgusting.
I told you she'd cringe.
That is disgusting. People that put ketchup in mac and
it's
cheese,
awesome.
get out of here.
Boy, if you
How
don't like
old are
ketchup
you?
on things, does Norman have a video for you?
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll show you separately.
Okay.
Anybody who
Okay.
knows Norman is going to know the video that he shared.
okay.
So-
All right.
So to
So let's
moving
bring it
on from-
back.
Moving on to
Bring it
ketchup,
back.
we have to give Doug and Avery some time.
Okay. So Avery was somebody that is a fan of ours. We read his listener mail last time.
The famous
Hi,
sticker company.
Avery.
No, it's not the famous sticker.
I use that company frequently.
Yeah, Avery makes good stuff.
But Avery hails from Beach Ford in Myrtle Beach, and
Myrtle.
he just kind of wanted words of encouragement for his former coworkers at AutoNation Ford in White Bear Lake, Minnesota.
Minnesota.
They're going,
why is it got to be a white bear?
well, you know,
Oh my God.
the only kind that you find in Minnesota.
I'm just kidding.
But yeah, they're going through management change, and
Oh God, I feel your pain, dude.
Jake, you
I'm-
know exactly how that is.
Well, I feel like
We as
I feel
listeners
this.
know that Jake knows how that is.
Well, thank you, Sean, as a listener and now a host.
Ooh, thank you.
Ooh,
Thank you.
guest host.
Guess who?
Introducing.
Special guest.
Special.
Sorry, I didn't hear a thing you guys said in the past 30 seconds. I was imagining killing somebody else.
Oh my God. You shouldn't do that.
No,
What words of encouragement can we all give to the boys
Well,
over there?
you know,
So I've technically gotten 3 new managers, whilst you've just gotten 1.
you talking about Ron and Pat?
Yes, I am, because they were
Whoa,
both.
whoa!
But
Name drops.
wait. It's fine. But Ron.
Pat listens. Hi, Pat.
Hi, Pat. But Ron and Pat are kick ass.
Sure, but you know, you're new to something. we're all human. There's no way to know. It's not, oh my God, what's that movie where they go like,
I don't.
it's
have any idea what you're
the
talking
Matrix.
Oh my God.
It's not an
That's her
information
explanation.
download.
I'm like, what?
When they like do the
She
they
loosely
dodge
held
the
her arms up
bullet-
and made a
bullet.
noise, and they were supposed to know that was the Matrix.
I'm very glad I'm here for that.
Yeah,
Like, you can't listen to that.
No,
you can't.
there's no audio cues for that
No.
bad sort of.
For those of you out there, it was well worth me
Imagine
coming here today.
Imagine somebody who can't swim jumping into the deep end for their first time and going,
All right. Let's move it along.
So I'll start.
Anyways, it's not an informational download
Well, actually-
like immediately.
Right.
There's things that they still are learning, just like all of us, and so that messes with the flow.
Okay, whoa. There is a different, and I don't exactly know what Avery is like really pointing at. There is a difference from somebody learning something new and adjusting to a dealership and straight up thrusting their you-know-what right into the woodworks or the machining and just be like, this is what
That's
you're doing
dangerous.
now. Either way, you get my point. So if Avery, if you're more talking along the lines of you're trying to get used to somebody, they're not really used to the way that things work, it will get better, man, I promise. But if it's more along the lines of what I'm dealing with, where it's a guy who is just, look at my BDE, and if anybody
Big
doesn't know what
dick
that, yeah,
energy.
thank you,
You
Allie.
could just Google that.
Well, Allie did it for us.
I just wanted to say
but
dick.
if it's something more along those lines, there's really no other particular thing you can do than stick it out, man, and hope that your manager realizes that you are really the whole entire base of the team, and it's either you learn to work with your team and grow together, or he's just going to be a dick, and it's just going to be, this is my way or the highway. So pray it's the first one. It's like with me, I'm really trying to give my new manager the benefit of the doubt, but he is giving me no reason to do that.
Well, I think that, there's different perspectives to how a manager comes in, or like new management styles, right?
Sure.
So, the advice I would give would just be, you really just want to wait and see, stick it out, like Jake said. Wait and see what happens, because the manager or new management may come in and try and strong arm, which it seems like Jake's dealing with, and that that could be a problem. But a lot of times managers have different styles of coming in. Like, I've come into places like, I'm the new manager, I'm this and that, and that never really works. Just from experience from me. But I've also come in like really too soft before, and I've gotten walked over, and I didn't make any changes, and therefore I fell into what the old manager had, which was the same problems that the dealers
same
that I was
you were
working
trying
at.
to
Exactly
fix.
right. So,
Yep.
so there's a mix there that as a manager
60%
you
of the
have
time,
to
it
do.
works every time.
Yeah,
Exactly.
right.
Exactly.
And Sean makes a good point. It's like you do have to find that balance, because
Definitely.
too soft, you're stepped on. Too headstrong, you lose respect. So it is tough. I will give it that. You come into a place you don't know, you have to feel it out. But at the exact same time, you can kind of tell if somebody's just being a dick or if somebody's really trying to just figure it out.
Well, I think being a manager can also be a pretty thankless job at times. Like, when you're the boss of someone, in a sense, like, people don't like to be told what to do.
The best way, my wife put this to me like a long time ago, but like the best
What's
way
up,
to think
Alicia?
about it, right? She's like, you have to know that you are going to be what people go home to their wife or their spouse and talk about. You're going to be the dinner time conversation in all these houses, and it's hard, man. I've had to fire people. I mean, like I said, being a manager, it has its peaks and valleys for sure. You know what I mean? Like I said, I've had to fire people and look them in the eye, and I've had to watch people cry. I mean, this guy's got to go home and
so hard.
so it's tough.
But at the same time, because I know how your mentality is, Sean, just knowing, working with you, there's a huge difference between a boss and a leader. Figure it out. If you're a leader,
There's different ways to lead, but you have to be a leader, to find a way that you're going to lead your team to what you need to do.
Right. And Doug.
So Doug was a quick one. He was he's from Citrus Motors. We actually met, or I met Doug
Citrus
at the Los Angeles Training Center. For the high voltage.
Hi, Doug. How's pork chop?
Candy mayonnaise.
Quail man.
Doug really just had something more to say to the podcast audience.
Oh, okay.
As in
a little shout out.
Yeah, new techs and new hires out there. It is much better to tattle on yourself than to have the customer find out about something. So to
get ahead of it.
To elaborate on that, let's say that you're doing a service on a car and you scratch a panel or you knock out a tail lens or something like that. It's much better to tell the service manager or somebody in charge and let them know that you made the mistake and we have to fix this customer's vehicle before you deliver it to the customer in the service drive and they're walking around the vehicle before they pick it up and say, well, this scratch, this dent, this wasn't here.
That's a really good tip, actually. I think.
Most people don't, it seems counterintuitive, but most people don't think to do that. They're like, oh, I'll just, sweep it up under the rug and we'll notice.
Well,
customers notice everything. We get blamed for stuff because
all the damn time.
So the vehicle comes on the service drive and it's filthy. Outside and inside, it's filthy. And so you don't even touch the outside of the car. You just do the service on it and you put it through the car wash. Now the car's clean. But when the customer picks it up, they see all the scratches and dings on it because now it's clean.
That could have been there, but it's always
they were there before.
It's always
most of the time they were there before, but because now they can see them, it's now it's on their mind.
Well, yeah, and the customer sometimes doesn't even know. Like I genuinely feel like I do know, and you guys all
in the
know
body shop, you know that for sure.
You know more than anyone.
It's my living. I mean. Yeah. But even like on the service drive, because I've had to, come up front and deal with these these guests anyway. And who's out to try and get something, you just know. And then who honestly, I'm like, look, lady, this was there. I promise you it was. Or sir, whoever it is. But, sometimes people they truly don't notice it until like Mike said, it's nice and shiny and clean. And then it's like, oh boy. Here we go.
You're in this industry long enough. You can smell a bait from a mile away.
Oh, yeah.
But for a really loose kind of metaphor for that, like how he said, it's easier if you tell somebody you've lit something on fire than waiting until somebody else notices that it's burning something down.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And
agreed.
This totally applies to my corner of the world as well, because I make mistakes. I've messed something up. I've missed deadlines. Yeah, you're right. I am perfect. But anyways, it's always good. It's always good if you mess something up to just get ahead of it. Own your mistakes, because that says something about you.
Yeah,
right.
For someone else to find out.
More respect for someone at that point. Right?
We're all human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, already?
I'm sorry, guys. It's time to.
My time's gone.
It's all right.
My time's over.
Yeah.
Ready to go home now?
You can come back anytime you want.
Yeah.
We had so much fun today.
And just like
wait, and also Eric, I know you're listening, buddy. You should come back anytime you want to.
Eric.
You hear that, buddy? You hear that? That's your name on the radio.
Eric.
Kevin's getting really busy.
Maybe I don't want to come back.
No, we could have both of you guys here at the same time. It's okay.
Oh, dude, that would be a great episode, Eric
It's
and
festival
Sean.
season.
Yes,
Kevin's
please.
getting busy.
I need somebody else to press the buttons.
I need somebody else.
This is a lot of pressure. I've been lacking. I'm sorry, Kevin. I'm sorry to let you down.
So, we've reached the end of the episode.
We have.
We appreciate everybody listening. We want to thank all of our listeners, all of our sponsors. You guys can, email us anytime you want at customerstatespodcast@gmail.com. It happens to be our PayPal as well, so you can follow us there. There it is. You can find us on. Remind me the Facebook, Mike.
Facebook.
No, it's just a weird transition.
So Facebook is facebook.com/Customer States Podcast. Twitter and Instagram are the same at customer_states.
And we
Anchor.fm. You can still help support us there as well.
Right. And then with Sean being here, and we love him. You guys love the podcast.
We love Sean.
We really,
Yes.
any help that can be done here, guys, this is a selfless plug, but it's because we love the guy. We know we have listeners who love us. So we'd like to pass along just the love. There's a GoFundMe to help Sean, his family, his beautiful children, his beautiful wife. If anybody can do anything, a dollar, 50 cents, whatever you can. We know it's rough, but still, we would appreciate anything you can. I personally don't know the GoFundMe off the top of my head, Mikey. I know you.
So I mean, again, we make light and we make fun in this whole podcast series, but unfortunately, cancer is no joke, and one of our best friends, Sean, has it. And he's sitting here today with us, and
we want to keep. I'm
still here.
We want to keep it that way. Is the bottom of the line?
Yes, we want to keep it that way.
So Sean needs all of our help. So if you can at all help support him, his GoFundMe is. I'm sure you could search him up by looking at Sean Lifter, SeanLifter. Again, we want to end this on a light note, so we love you guys. Please keep writing us. We love all of the pictures and things that you share on the Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all that kind of stuff. If you did purchase a hashtag sell the bell, please
we need them in their natural habitats.
We need to see pictures. You need to post them up there. We want to see where they go. We spent a lot of time creating these. I want to make sure it went to a good home.
do you wear many hats? Put it on top of a hat.
Don't make me send CPS out there, or whatever the Canadian equivalent is.
But we'll go ahead and end it there, guys. Thanks you again so much for listening. We will see you next week, and we'll have more fun.
Love you.
Hi, this is Mike Serra from Customer States. Matco Tools is one of the best tool companies in the industry, and Nick Lowridge is one of the best Matco tool distributors. Nick can get me anything I need for the shop or for at home. From oil drain pans to beef jerky, Nick's got what I need on tap. Nick works in the Thousand Oaks, California area, and you too can get whatever you need by calling him at 805-796-7323. And if you're not in that area, call him anyway and tell him you heard about him from the Customer States podcast. And then you can hop on to matcotools.com and find a Matco Tools distributor near you. Matco Tools. Service, trust, results.